I finished. I finished my work placement with Joe Media. So, any of you lot that don't really know who Joe Media are, look them up on Instagram, TikTok. You'll see their social media group. Over the past 4 weeks, I had the great opportunity to work with them. Some of you might be watching this video thinking like how I got in that position, and there's other people who might be watching this knowing how it happened. But to give a bit of context, it was part of a college course to do work placement near the end of this year, and basically it was a 4 weeks of having to work with some sort of production company. I ended up having a great chance of being with Joe Media. They are a very big social media group, and they basically do everything social media. They record for Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, everything. I just was lucky enough to get into the position of being able to work with them for this 4 weeks, and I don't think I could have gotten anything better over this past 4 weeks. Now, I will also note that right now Liverpool are playing against Fulham, which is why if you hear someone screaming in the background, that is my brother watching the game. Over this course of the 4 weeks, I was under the supervision of a guy who basically led the video production side of the company. So I worked with a bunch of people in this office area, and I will be showing you guys up on the screen little videos of stuff that I took inside the office, and as you guys will have seen from my TikTok and my Instagram of me on my last day of work placement, you guys have pretty much got the gist of what the layout of the office is. Being with Joe Media, it basically meant that I'd either be going on shoots or doing edits or doing whatever really, because there was always something to try and do every day. So a lot of you guys who've watched this video and maybe follow me on Instagram, you probably would have seen this clip.
Check it out, Birds Eye have launched a new chicken chop range, so we're going to tuck in and try it out. Let's get into it.
Clink.
I love the smoky flavours.
Very nice.
This is like Flavour City.
So tender.
Tastes like something you get in a nice pub that is famous for doing chicken wings.
Next up, buttermilk tenders.
Oh boy, now you're talking my language.
Yeah.
Not so fresh, like you wouldn't expect that after coming out of the freezer aisle.
They feel like the kind of chicken tends get like a mega box or something. They'd be banging in a baguette.
100%. Soft, bready, good texture to it.
These are the hot and fiery chicken chunks. Let's do this. Oh man, these are actually so tasty. They taste like you could buy them and pick them up in a chicken shop.
Cheers. There's almost like a spice chase going on here. Eat it and go, fine, bit of a kick, and then it starts to ramp up.
Do we get to keep the chicken after this?
If you want to check out the full chicken chop range, including the buttermilk tenders, the honey sriracha wings, the barbecue wings, and the hot and fiery chicken chunks, they're all available in Tesco right now.
So yes, I ended up making it into a Joe Media video for their chicken stuff and on their Instagram page. Joe Media, their Instagram will be in the description, so you can go follow them because they're absolutely brilliant. And everyone else that I worked with, honestly, it couldn't have been any bloody better working with these people, because like this place, it was so welcoming. Everyone was so nice, and just being able to have conversations with my supervisor about life and college and all that stuff, and getting to know about everyone else and what they do for work and how they got into it. Like, it was nice to know a few people on a nice level, but obviously I got to know my supervisor more and better than anyone else there, because considering he is my supervisor, so he wants to know a bit about me. And another big thing I will say is that you think that for 4 weeks it's going to be a long time. For me, it wasn't, because it seemed to be that every day you went in, the day just flew. Because it was like a standard 9 to 5, but for some people it was basically 9 to half 5. But because of the fact that like he told me it is up in Dublin, I'd have to get a train home and all that, so I need to go catch a Lewis to get to a train. So I had to leave the office early pretty much every single day that I worked there. And so some people would stay there until like half 5 to do any sort of work that they were doing, and it was mainly like little edits that you had to do for an Instagram or TikTok. You would always see the same two lads in the Instagrams, and those two lads I had a great opportunity of talking to, and this place also really led me to get to meet actually a few well-known people. I didn't meet him, but he literally was in the place on a podcast earlier before I even made it to work placement. Tommy Tiernan, for any of you guys who've watched Dairy Girls or are familiar with Tommy Tiernan, he was on a podcast, and this podcast was called You Must Be Joking, and I had the great opportunity of being on set and being in the room when the podcast is happening, because part of my job at the place was to set up the studio where the podcasts would take place. And so I had the great opportunity with meeting a few people. I got to meet Garen Newn, who a lot of you might know. He does a bit of comedy, he does a bit of songwriting, makes food stuff, he does a lot of stuff. So I had the great chance of meeting Garen Newn. It was funny enough to see how calm and down to earth everyone is, because you would think that for a professional environment and professional social media group like Joe Media, who have over 500,000 followers on Instagram, you think that okay, they're professional and all that. One of the best things that I absolutely loved about Joe Media, although they do try to keep their professional top notch, everyone in that office, we all have a joke, we do a bit of banter, we go at each other. It's like everyone's known each other for 10 years. Everyone there was so nice, and seeing how everyone links with each other and communicates, and the chemistry between everyone is just something that I wasn't expecting. And even my supervisor, what I absolutely loved about my supervisor was how much it seemed to be that, despite the fact that everyone who worked in the place seems to be in their mid to late 20s, maybe early 30s, I'm not too sure. What I loved was seeing how my supervisor, despite being 38, he's like one of us. It's as if he's trying to be in his mid 20s as well, which I really admired about it, and I admired how dedicated he is to his work. It was a bit emotional yesterday, because just for another bit of context, this is being recorded the day after I finished my work placement. It was a bit of an emotional goodbye, because it was just something I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting to just meet so many nice people and see how this place functioned, and just the friendships that I made whilst working there and getting to know everyone is something that I will hold very deep down. And so saying goodbye yesterday to them, it kind of felt like it felt like a family member had died when I had to leave, because it's 4 weeks you're spending with these people. You think it's gonna go a bit slow, but it fucking flew. We went out to celebrate last night, have a few drinks. I am genuinely going to fucking miss that place, because it's such a nice place to be in, and having the conversations with a bunch of people and getting to know everyone, knowing that this would be a brilliant place to work at part-time for next summer, and if it so happens, maybe to work there as a full-time job when I graduate college. That is something that has been really on my head, because I genuinely, and I mean genuinely, I could not have asked for a better experience, because I don't think that anything could have topped working at this place. There was not one negative thing to say about this place, because every morning I get up out of bed knowing I'm going into Dublin, but I'm getting to work with a bunch of people who have the same passion. You just get to know everyone, and you just get so into being in this mindset of, okay, I cannot fucking wait to go in every day and work with these people. It's definitely an experience that I wasn't expecting to have, and even with the Joe Pub quiz that ended up happening during my first week at the place, it was one of the best things that happens during these past 4 weeks. Luckily enough as well, I ended up getting paid for it. There's just nothing bad for me to say about this place. Nothing. Meeting everyone, and if you guys don't know, there are certain people that are, well, I'll give them a shout out in this video, because I feel like they absolutely deserve it. There's everyone that I met, shout out my supervisor Peter, shout out Mason, Martha, Owen, Oisin, Andrew, you know, absolutely all of them. Everyone else, like, there's a lot of people in the place, like a lot of people who I know in the place, so it's hard to like keep tally of all the names, but all those people, fucking massive shout out to, and because they honestly, like, they were such a huge reason of why I absolutely loved working in the place for the past 4 weeks. Because I think if I wasn't working with them, I don't know how I would feel. It seems to be that these 4 weeks have really like put something onto me, because the fact that I am feeling a bit emotional about like having left the place, because you're working there 4 weeks, but it's not like I'm working there like 2 weeks. But sure, like I said, I'd absolutely love to work at this place for a part-time job, and if by chance, maybe a full-time job. And hopefully, fingers crossed, after next year, I can work with them. That's a big hopefully thing. There you go. It's the end of my work placement. Such a good time to work with these lot. That's it for work placement. We're finished. And now it's time to enjoy the Christmas holidays. So, Merry Christmas everyone.